and welcome to another episode of Not For Nothing. We are here in New York, which is super exciting, but also it may look different from what you're used to. We are now both East Coast girlies. Mm-hmm. And to start off today, I have a topic for you, which I know that we have differing opinions. Oh. But they freak me out.
Are you sure our opinion is differing?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
But the topic of press-on pedicures. And for context, if you don't know the term press-on, it means the fake nail that you put on pedicures or manicures.
Yeah, I'm firmly against them.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me that you actually like them.
No, I've never had one. How about you?
Me neither. I didn't even know it existed until I saw them recently and was like, I don't know why it freaks me out so much, but it's freaking me out.
They're disgusting. And it's like...
Is it just more... Does it also have a lengthening factor to it?
Yes, but
I don't need long toenails.
I agree. And I feel like your feet are already at risk for like fungus and stuff just based on like being inside a shoe, being exposed to moisture.
How does it not? Well, okay, here's the only exception to the rule, I would say. If, for example, like in the case of my feet currently, I stubbed my toe the other day and half of my like big toenail nail is gone, which is pretty horrendous. If I were to be going to some crazy like wedding, whatever, where I have to wear open-toed shoes, I would replace I wouldn't do the full pedicure, but if a nail was requiring nail, it could be
there's
good.
A solution for that, and it's not a press-on pedicure. You know what it is?
Socks?
An acrylic toe.
So that I've seen, but obviously that's a different budget.
Different budget, but you can go in for one nail if you had to.
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. Which
like, honestly,
I may need to do one day because I am extremely clumsy. I also like figure skated for a decade, so like my toes are...
They've seen some shit.
They are just... There's like no nail in most of them because they've all been broken so many times.
I think that there is a sole purpose for press-on toenails, and that is fetish content.
Oh, that's true.
You know, if you're doing a shoot for your feet and you need like 6 pairs of toenails and you need to make it look like different times and places and stuff, I think that is where a press-on pedicure makes sense. I don't think that it's for wear inside of a shoe. Like, I guess maybe a sandal where your toes are exposed.
I would just take my boots off and my socks and they would just be all loose in there.
They'd be loose in the sock, 100%. It would sound like a maraca.
There's no way that they stay on. But the fetish content, that's a really good point.
Right? That's got to be the only way.
Respect. Then I would expect to see them more in like less... They shouldn't be next to the hand ones.
No, I agree.
Because different purpose.
Total different purpose. That is the type of thing that belongs in that secret room of Ricky's.
That's what I was going to say.
You know?
The secret Ricky's room or like next to the condoms at Dwayne Reed or Walgreens now.
Literally fucking brilliant. That is, you know what? They should hire you to do like product placement in the store.
Honestly,
100%.
I think about that. Okay. If we needed more proof that I'm a weirdo.
Great categories.
When I was with Ava the other day in DC, I was complaining that my current CVS that I live near is just organized wrong. I was like, why are these things there? Whatever. And I was like starting to get like so worked up on like wanting to like reorganize. She was like, you need to stop smoking weed.
It's funny, actually. I wonder if you went into a CVS or something and you just like were in very casual clothes and you started rearranging things, if they would even question you.
I think so.
They'd be like, she's the new girl. Like, we don't know who she is, but I'm sure she's here. But no one else would be doing that unless they were paid.
That's true. I also wonder how much CVS purposefully makes things hard to find so that you have multiple trips to take.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's part of strategy for a lot of stores.
And I love like customer experience strategy, which makes a lot of sense in what we do as a job. But like,
have you ever been a secret shopper?
I have not, but I think I would be really good at it.
It's actually so cool.
Wait, can you get paid to do that?
Yes. And I have done it.
Wait, how do you do this?
So
SecretShopper.com?
No, but there was an app. Seeking shoppers. There was an app years ago that I used to use. And I mean years ago, like I was in college or maybe just out of college.
Those years were truly the
hustle years.
It was, but also like the climate around us was like, it was the gig innovation, like the number of like random apps I was doing, the number of like random jobs that I like never did more than once.
100%.
But like made $60 that night or something. And it was so random.
So this was,
there's less that now.
I can't remember the name of it. Field something.
Yeah, like one of those randoms.
It was a random app.
Like, I've done studies and like that was also
me too.
big.
Oh, I've done studies many times. I love doing it. You know what? I'll do them to this day if the opportunity arises.
I may get into it again.
I'm going to actually start looking them up again.
It takes a lot of time.
It does. Like, just sourcing them. But that's a fun thing you can do from bed.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
I kind of want to do some.
Usually you get snacks, too.
True. And you make friendships that last forever.
Yeah, they're so weird. You're like, what's up? Because
it's like, who else is at a fucking meeting in the middle of a day?
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours for like $80 or an $80 gift card.
It's better than no money.
It is. It's actually a good gig.
Let me girl rot at a study.
I love that. Exactly. And then you get to get like in your creative bag too. You're like, no, you know what? This logo doesn't resonate with me. You're like, I actually think that if you added some blue to it, it would really provide the essence that the brand is looking for.
I think
and they're like, do you work in marketing? And I'm like, no, why would you say that? I've never worked in marketing.
I love products.
I'm just the head of my household. So this app, I would basically, it's crazy because they would say, make sure that they don't know that you're shopping or taking photos or like,
that's the whole point.
You are truly undercover.
Yeah.
So I would go into stores and they would be like M&Ms, for example. They'd say, walk into Walgreens, and they'd give you a couple of locations of Walgreens within your area.
Yeah.
And they would be like, walk into one of these Walgreens, and if you're the first person to take this task, you'll get paid $20 or whatever.
Great.
Take a photo at the end cap of the deodorant aisle.
Yes.
In the middle of the store. Is there an M&M's display? They wanted you to essentially snitch on the stores.
Yeah, to see how well their product was being
displayed.
Yeah.
And they could be like, okay, no, Dwayne Reed on 86th Street
is not
displaying our stuff, so maybe we need to get them. We didn't get them any merch to set it up.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to send more promotional product their way. So they would like really like essentially pay you on behalf of the brands to like
go snitch.
And it was a great gig, and I would do it again any day.
I'm gonna look into that.
It's fun.
I'm excellent at that.
It's really good, especially if you're interested in it. Like I was like,
grocery
cool
stores
shit.
Are some of my favorite like designs.
I love the grocery store.
And the Fairway near my mom and my parents' house, they recently, because Fairway got bought by somebody, I forget who. You remember there was that whole thing where Fairway was gonna disappear, and then they like.
No, I'm out of the Fairway conversation. I've never had a Fairway near me.
You have one not that far from you.
I've never
like
shopped
Red
there.
Hook.
That's a little bit far.
It's a little far.
That's a couple neighborhoods away.
Yeah, but it's not like.
Yeah, I've never gone though.
No, I've only gone once or twice to that one. But they got bought, and it's like now none of it makes sense.
Really?
The chips are now on the second floor. Why is anything on the second floor?
Chips should be the first thing you see when you walk into a store, because that's what I'm grabbing, brother. Especially if I'm shopping hungry.
Which is a dangerous game to play, but no, it's so bad, and I think that might be a good career shift for me one day.
I really like that. I think they call that in-store merchandising.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Megan's sister does that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she did that for Saks Fifth Avenue.
Ooh.
Pretty cool. Okay, so speaking on, let's move up from press-on pedicures, physically up the body.
Okay.
We're talking the care and keeping of you today, essentially. So as girls growing up, like a lot of, especially like I have to say it, as the older sister, it was our responsibility to bring up like things to our parents that they necessarily weren't thinking of as top of mind. Like, I don't know what your bra shopping experience was like, but some of it was my mom forcing me. Some of it was me being too embarrassed to agree to shop with her. Some of it was like, oh, I just don't want to go through this. So I'm like avoiding it altogether. But shaving was a big one.
Yeah.
So like I distinctly remember I shaved off half of my eyebrow when I was in 3rd grade because I wanted my eyebrows done. And I was trying to just like sculpt it, but I just ended up shaving off half of it. Horrible. And I know a lot of girlies have that same experience.
My sister was an overplucker for
really
sure.
I mean, I was all thin eyebrowed out.
There were just little patches on top of her eyes.
There was a couple mere straggly hairs left, I'm sure. But I wasn't allowed to shave for like many years.
Me neither.
And it was like humiliating to say the least.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Like, why is that so taboo?
Why? And I think it's changed.
Yeah, exactly. Gen Z doesn't, I don't see them dealing with this.
First of all, there's such a liberation of hair.
There is.
There's like this empowerment of having hair. So that's
right.
like
so I think you would be bullied less for having it to begin with.
Literally got bullied so much
simply for hair.
And
I agree.
My mom wouldn't let me shave. I don't know how her and my sister had the discussion, but it was different because my sister has darker hair. Yeah. So I think it was like more visible. Mm-hmm. But then, for example, because my sister was like plucking so much, I didn't really pluck my eyebrows that much because I was like, oh.
You have good eyebrows.
I don't really do much, but it's because they're like, I need to get them shaved.
Oh, I thought you said shaved. I was
like, no,
shaved.
I've
don't make my mistake.
I've never done like a full situation. But yeah, my mom wouldn't let me shave my legs. Then what she did allow, which is like should be illegal. And we were skirt girlies. Well, first of all, I had a uniform, but yes. And what was the deal with Veet and Nair? Like, why was that more acceptable?
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
And my mom would allow us to do that. And I was like, but
same. She wouldn't let me shave, but she would let me use Veet.
I'm like, I may like have permanent damage to my DNA now.
Literally.
Like, that shit is so toxic.
It's not only toxic, but like you can like seriously get serious burns from it.
Because obviously it never works that well. So you
gotta go round 2, round 3.
Or let me just leave it on for like 45 minutes instead of the like whatever 8 to 10 recommended.
Hundo P.
And so I would just like chill bathroom literature, chill in the bathroom with my legs like waiting,
reading Disney on Ice
while I'm just like burning off the skin on my legs.
Yes, it was actually extremely bad. Like I look back and I'm like,
the whole house knew that you had just done hair removal because it like smelled
like rotten eggs for like the next few hours.
And then the new generation of Veet and Nair, they tried to like add some like fragrance into it, and I was like, this is just worse because now there's like chemicals.
It's like gardenia and rotten eggs. Ew.
It's absolutely terrible. But I don't know what that was all about.
So when were you first allowed to shave?
I wasn't allowed to. I just did when I was at summer camp. I think I was like 14 maybe.
Dude, I was around the same age. I was in 7th fucking
And my
grade.
mom was like pissed. She's like, I can't believe you did this. And I was like, mother. Everyone was making fun of me.
I remember the distinct date too. Like not the date, but I remember the exact day and what I was doing. Yeah, it was before a pool party. Oh. And I was like, Mom, like I can't even tell you the humiliation I've gone through at this point. I have black hair. My legs are super hairy and I need to shave before this pool party. She was like, okay. And she wasn't happy about it.
I don't know why they care.
I will never limit my child from shaving.
And I've been seeing this creator and she posts about how she waxes her daughter's eyebrows.
I did see that too.
And a lot of people are like, that's crazy. And she's like, no, like if it makes her happy, like why, what is this like forced trauma that
I don't get it.
Literally, it's just hair. It's totally move on.
It grows back.
It literally,
that's what it comes down to.
And I wish like my mom was like, no, don't shave, let's wax.
Right.
And then you start young waxing, like then you barely have hair while you're an adult.
But it's also like, okay, like I'll ask my kid if they want it.
Yeah, obviously.
And if you don't want it and you hate it and you're mad that I'm doing, okay, we won't do it. However, I'm not going to let you be ridiculed by the kids in class. It was
so weird. I was like, literally people are making fun of me. Why are you like...
I was one of the last, dude.
Yeah, same.
Very embarrassing.
And my sister for a while like wouldn't wear shorts or skirts and like we always were like, why? And then I realized when I was older that it was because my mom wasn't allowing her to shave.
That's humiliating and I hate it. Okay. So I haven't like gone to too many like restaurants lately. Like I have my like faves that I go to all the time, like a sit down restaurant, but I haven't really gone out to dinner that frequently. When you're like, when the hostess is seating you. Yeah. What are you secretly praying that you don't get seated at?
Like a high table.
You don't want the high table?
I hate a high table.
I hate it too.
I hate that then your bag's like on the floor so far, or if there's no hook. Like I hate a high table. I always feel like I'm going to lose my balance and fall.
Right?
A bar, I only enjoy being seated at the bar at like Kazunori or something that where it's like part of the experience.
Even then there's no space, but.
Yeah, but it's so good that I go into a trance that I don't even realize where I am anymore. I'm like, this handrail is something.
You're like, I'm distracted completely from this annoying ass chair.
Literally, I'm like
100%.
I could be standing right now. Honestly, it would be better.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
But it's so good, I don't care. But I love a high table. I hate a high table, and I hate being seated at the bar.
I hate being seated at the bar.
Combo if it's a high bar.
Yes. I hate being seated at a bar unless it's on my way to a table. I do like when they're like, sit at the bar until your table is ready. I'll take that. But I actually like that.
Eating at the bar, especially if you're more than 2 people.
Yep.
It's
agreed.
like,
you're like yelling at each other
like,
from across the L.
Weird.
That happened to me the other day, actually.
It's so weird.
Very annoying. What about booths? Do you like booths? I love a booth. The other day, I love booths too. I got shaped at a C-shaped booth.
I love a C-shaped booth.
So cute.
That's what I was at last night with my parents.
I absolutely love it.
At our Chinese spot, there's like in the center tables, but then booths on the side. And then there's like one corner circular booth.
Love it.
And I like to think that it's because they could tell I needed it.
I love it. And I always get at a C-shaped booth as well.
It's
I always
not
get
really
to sit
like
there.
A necessary, like that rare of a thing, but it always feels so special.
No, it does. And at my favorite brunch spot that I go to.
Oh, love a brunch booth.
Oh, love a brunch booth.
A bar brunch? I'm going
Don't go
home.
to brunch. Don't go to brunch.
That's why I don't go to brunch.
No, at that point I wouldn't.
But I love a booth. Like a diner booth.
Diner booth
is a safe space.
I feel like I could honestly tell all of my secrets at a diner booth.
And I have.
C-shaped booth.
And I have videos of Robert in a diner booth that are...
Getting vulnerable.
No, like, just so incriminating.
Oh my God.
He's, like, not there. Like... It was, like, the night of our graduation.
Oh, wow. I forget that you guys have known each other that long.
Like,
it's crazy.
That we went to college together.
So wild. Okay, well, now that we've talked about diner booths...
Which... Love a diner.
Love a diner.
Diners are just...
That's where dreams are made, honestly.
And if a diner doesn't have, like, a binder as a menu...
Oh, yeah. I need a Cheesecake Factory type menu.
I need to have literature.
And for some reason, I look through all the things even when I know what I'm getting.
No, the menu is not about...
What are your specials?
At a I feel like this is the unspoken rule at a diner. You don't need the menu to order because you could pretty much order whatever you want.
That's so true.
Like, anything you can think of, trust me, it's in the binder.
That's so true.
But the binder is just, it's fun to see, again, user experience, like how they've chosen to divide items.
Right.
Are fries in your appetizers or in your sides?
Like, oh, you have disco fries?
Crazy. I love when there's also like, especially New York diners are usually like Greek owned. And then there's like a whole Greek menu and it's just like,
so true.
Why do you have like fish and random like that's what I'm saying. You could literally have whatever you want.
You know what's been a good marker of what a good diner is? I don't even eat pancakes, as you know.
Yeah.
But I want to know if you're ordering blueberry pancakes, are you giving me preserves or are you giving me fresh blueberries?
What do you mean by preserves? Like jam?
Jam.
Yeah, that's weird. That's more like Midwest America.
No, a lot of diners do it. Really? I'm telling you. Yeah.
I never get blueberry pancakes. I always get chocolate chip.
I never get pancakes, but I just knowing that lets me know what kind of quality diner it is.
Yeah, you want the blueberries. Even if they were frozen prior.
That's what I'm saying. Throw them in the fucking batter.
Like, that's
I don't care.
That's actually delicious.
Agreed. Where it turns a little purple.
Yeah, exactly. I never understood the banana pancake thing. I'm not into that.
I think I would be. If I had to go pancake, I'd probably go banana.
Really?
I used to love banana and cereal when I was a kid.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. Still as an adult.
Yeah.
But love a diner.
Okay, remember when you used to have to I don't know what TV shows, like, you know how your parents were like, I have to go watch my shows, or like maybe they just weren't that type of parent?
No, they were watching the news.
Okay. So
but
my mom was...
But they were strict about it because the French news was always like at 8 p.m.
Okay, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, because it was before, like, on cable now you can get like the French channel.
Yep.
But before it was like there was this one channel that was shared by like international networks.
Wow.
And they would like share the airing times.
Okay, that's actually cool.
The next hour was maybe like in Arabic, like you know, just
very dope.
Usually it was like the Italian one right after, but it was funny. So they were strict about the news time.
Okay, that makes sense. So they had to rush home for their
not rush
home,
hour, but yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Truly. If they missed it, whatever, but
yeah.
They would prefer to be watching
in the know.
So I remember the days of Disney Channel where they'd be like, tune in to Cadet Kelly.
When the movie would air.
Yes. They'd be like, 8/7 Central. And I'm like, what does that mean? Even to this day? 8/7 Central?
It's 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
But why? What about the West Coast? Were they not just telling us about it? Or was it saying 8/7 Central because they're only airing that sound bit on the Central and East Coast? Oh my God. And the West Coast had their own?
I've never thought about it that way.
Like, what about Mountain Time?
They probably totally have their own commercial. I'm thinking it as it's enough of an indicator to then
convert. But then East Coast becomes like the standard.
I mean, it always is.
Is it? Well, it is for like news. I know like the news hits at 9 a.m.
For most broadcasts, it's always the time given in Eastern first.
I never knew that. And I, up until this very moment, I never knew how to convert that.
To Western?
To whatever time Pacific? Zone I'm in, which was Eastern, I guess. I was like, so is it 7 or is it 8 or is it?
No, it's 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Wow. But I would always be so confused as to why they don't say 8 Eastern. Like, why is it 8, 7 Central? Why is there only one indicator?
Yeah, exactly. That's what would confuse me. Because I'm like, I just didn't even understand time zones back then. And now I'm like, well, what time zone are you starting with?
It's so confusing.
Right.
But that was we wouldn't like rush home or like make any time set aside, but like it was cool if like when you were turning on the TV, you're like, oh, it's actually the time where they are airing Cadet Kelly. Like, nice.
Exactly. I remember the only thing, it was actually one of my best friends growing up, like my mom's friend's daughter would rush home. I can't remember if it was 7 or 8 p.m. to watch the Amanda Show.
Oh, no.
What?
Like rush to TV?
Oh, she loved it.
Yeah.
That was her show, in quotes. My mom's shows were only soap operas. So that was like the middle of the day.
I love the soap operas. I never really watched them that much, but like whenever you would like turn them on by accident and you're like, wow.
I hate soap operas.
It's so dramatic.
I remember one summer I got into soap opera with my mom, and there was this one, and it's funny because I was thinking about our conversation with Roger on our last podcast that we had him as a guest.
Yeah.
Where we were talking about vampires.
Yeah.
And there was the whole season of this soap opera where it was all vampires.
Really?
Yeah, and I got so fucking into it. And then like I don't remember what happened to the show. I don't know if that was like one random spin-off season, but I never watched it after that. So weird.
But it's fine because soap operas, like it's just this continuity that is fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just pick up where they left off and a whole new storyline will be formed.
My favorite was when I used to visit my grandma in France and they would air American soap opera dubbed in French.
No way.
But it was like 4 years later,
Oh, that's funny. It's like All My Children, but it's like literally things that happened
and like she's like
ago.
Getting into it now and I'm like, wow, this show like has been canceled already.
Right.
Like,
well, that was another thing. I think this vampire show, I think it was canceled soon thereafter.
Yeah, soap operas just like pop
constant
up,
cancellation.
Like, they're like my pimples. They're there when you least expect it and so hard to get rid of.
Did you ever have a pen pal?
Like, I think through class.
What grade?
Maybe like 4th grade or something.
Same. I had one in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And how did that come across?
So it was like so weird. My teacher that year was like such a weirdo. And she had been basically, this is not what makes her weird, but prior to coming to our school was working in Africa.
Okay.
I forget where. I feel like she never told us. At a school there. And so she like set up a pen pal with them.
Interesting.
It was so weird because she arrived in the school year like 2 months in. And I'm like, how are you even allowed to be our teacher? Like, we had subs for 2 months.
No way.
Yeah, like, I was basically not going to class for a while. We would just, like, fuck around in other people's classrooms, like, in the back.
That's actually crazy.
Like, it was crazy.
That's actually lawless.
Like,
I'm sorry. That's really
unhinged.
wild.
And my nerdy parents were very unhappy.
Yeah, I would be pissed, too, especially if it was private school.
Yeah, they were like,
what?
It was so weird.
That's crazy.
But, so that was our pen pal.
My teacher in 3rd grade was friends with another teacher in Pennsylvania. Like, they were, like, I guess they were friends from high school or, like...
I mean, now that, like... educators too, you're kind of like, yeah, I could see like that's
exactly.
If you were to meet another teacher, that would be a cute like project to like get going.
Totally cute. And I remember this girl Krista was my pen pal and we stayed in touch for years. Like we literally continued being pen pals for so many years.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, us it was like within the confines of it, like stopped after that.
Okay. How do you feel about prison pen pals?
I feel like it's a really slippery slope.
It is. I completely
I'm
agree with
deeply
you.
On prison talk and like get all of these stuff and
prison wife talk.
Yeah, prison wife talk. And I could see why they're targeting me with this.
They're Delu.
I am a single woman who like spends a lot of time.
You're like, I'm a cat lady. It's like, what it is.
I could write you letters.
Yes.
But it becomes a lot. It's also a very uneven power relationship.
Yes, it is.
And that is just, it's weird.
I'll be honest with you. I had a prison pen pal.
Okay.
A friend of mine was doing time.
Okay, but you met prior.
My friend, but that's not who my pen pal was.
Oh, okay.
So a friend of mine was doing time, and he was like, I have a friend who needs company. Will you or any of your friends be his pen pal? I was like, sure. I was his pen pal, and I heard that in jail, he roasted me. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Roasted me. Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
He said something deeply embarrassing. I don't even know if I'm ready to reveal. But he said something very mean. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm doing you a motherfucking favor.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. We don't even need to pull up his record to say that he's crazy. But yeah, definitely not fully someone who deserves a pen pal. So I took away the privilege. You're not going to be my pen pal if you're talking shit about me. Fuck you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
Talk shit, get hit.
I didn't even think about that being a possibility of
crazy,
scenario.
right? Crazy.
I didn't even think about what other people could be saying once they receive.
Yep.
Wow.
Apparently I wasn't pretty enough to be his pen pal.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, you are literally not able to make money.
I'm
sorry.
Like, meet anyone.
Or vote.
Like, there's a lot. And that's why it's weird. Because it's like, it's impossible.
Beggars can't be choosers, baby.
But it's impossible for the person, except in your case, I guess, to not like be obsessed with the person.
Right. And
I'm like, are you
he
just
was talking
flooded?
shit there, but would be like, baby, blah, blah, blah.
I'm like,
I'm simply your pen pal. I don't want anything romantic with you.
And also like, wow, that is really.
Do not recommend.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend either. I just, not that I've had experience doing it. I just think there are ways.
It's a slippery slope, like you said.
There are ways that you can help to like push incarceration reform.
Yes, 100%.
Like write to your local reps, like please
make holiday cards that are like
for everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Like donate, like do food drives or like
100%.
fundraisers for everybody's money and stuff, but not like.
But oftentimes it's not the healthiest attachment style.
No, exactly. And that's why I'm like, I see you TikTok as to why you think that this would be me.
Yep.
Unfortunately, what you forget is that I'm deeply unattached.
Exactly. And I don't have an anxious attachment style.
No.
With exactly.
Like my favorite relationships are when everybody can be independently and like our quality time together is beautiful
and secure.
But like I don't even want to ever think about if I'm doing something else, I'm doing something else.
Exactly. And I think if you're considering getting a prison pen pal, ask yourself why.
Get a friend.
100%. And I'm not saying like, someone needs to be a pen pal, so it's like if you're doing that, I just want you to do the inner work and ask yourself why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And go ahead and do it if you think that your answers are, if it's going to provide you the fulfillment you're looking for. And if you think that what you're doing is like safe and good and positive, by all means do it. Someone has to do it. But ask yourself why and what you're looking for out of it.
Yeah, and have a support system outside of that.
100%.
Like all those like Manson girlies.
Exactly.
Who are like, we got married and I've only met him once and I'm 17.
There's so many of them. Richard Ramirez did the same thing.
It's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, it's not crazy. It's like an actual like psychological phenomenon, but
wild.
That freaks me out a little bit.
So that's the tea. Yep.
Wow, I can't believe you had one.
I've actually had two. One of them I actually knew in real life, and the other one,
which that's different, and I think that's really beautiful. Like
it is different
for people in your community to not feel forgotten while they are serving time. Like that's really important.
But then understand that there is a release date at some point.
Yeah, and so whatever you say
not gonna
be in the void.
And understand the attachment
that you're
will continue in real life, and they might be expecting a different type of support as well upon getting out.
That I feel like is relevant for all kind of like long distance communication type stuff. And it's like,
yep,
you can't be sending all this like, I miss you, I can't wait to see you, blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh no, I actually like.
That's so true.
That's like long distance teasing.
My
pen pal teasing.
My relationship before my current relationship started off long distance. Like we met long distance, and then built up to an in-person relationship.
And that's tough.
And it is extremely
because you start
tough.
so intense,
and then like it's hard and fast. Like I don't know what to say. Like when you meet in person, the expectations are like a totally different level that like you might be more emotionally unavailable than you think.
Yeah, it's pretty like scary. You're like, oh, I guess we like said a lot via writing.
Exactly. And you kind of can't hold it against them for having those expectations when it did come out of your mouth and that's what you're saying you want. But like being held to it is a totally different life. So,
and that's why my mom always says never write anything you wouldn't say.
I love that. That is great advice. Well, take that with you and put it in your pocket. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Not For Nothing. I'm Sarah. You can follow me at How Can I Help You across all platforms. You can stream the pod at Not For Nothing Pod across all platforms.
And I'm Natasha, and you can follow me at Natasha PRZ or Pussyweed.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.